Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of BeawCast.
Rawr.
Rawr. And today's episode is brought to you by LOL.
Okay.
And I've been reading the comments. And yes, I read the comments to see what you guys like that we talk about. And one of the things that is the most commonly brought up is people really like how open we are with our relationship.
Okay.
And they like how we're able to kind of almost help resolve things and kind of bring all the inner workings out there so people can look at it, because a lot of things are kind of hush-hush that people don't talk about. And but everyone's going through the same things, but no one wants to talk about it. And they like that we actually talk about it.
Cool. You know what's really interesting to me?
What?
Is the fact that I don't realize how unique and different that is, because our whole circle of friends, everyone you guys see and you guys know, we're all this way. So this is a norm for us. To
different degrees. Some are more private than others. Some are more open.
True. Okay, I take it back. We're pretty open.
But I think, like, in terms of
we're pretty open.
most circles, though, we're pretty open compared to other circles. So the thing I want to talk about, and I can see your eyes are getting really big because you're like, what is this fool gonna bring up? Are they? Or you just miss me and you're trying to take it all in your eyeballs?
I miss you.
Okay, fine. So the one thing I really want to talk about that I feel like it's really difficult for a lot of couples to get on the same page is
damn. Sorry.
Is sexuality. So not in terms of, obviously, if you're a guy and a girl, or guy and a guy, or girl and a girl, like hetero, homo, that's whatever you want. But I'm talking about sexual compatibility. So for example, like I think, especially in the modern day, there's so many guys and girls that get together, right? And I only know from the guy's perspective, but they get together and the girls are like, oh my God, this guy's like so perfect. He has a great job, has great family values. And like, he does everything we want, so spontaneous, right? And then you're in the honeymoon phase.
What's the different voice for a gay guy that you do?
I don't know, but I'm just talking about the girl for right now.
Okay.
And so the girls
they sound the same to me.
Oh my God, for like 6 months, like this guy's like, I think he's the one that sweeps me off my feet. And then cut to like a year later. Oh my fucking God, this guy's a fucking porn addict. What the fuck? All he ever fucking does is watch fucking porno. What the fuck? He's so different. You know? And I think when they first get together, both guys and girls are really trying to put their A game forward. They want to make their best first impression. So some of the things that people feel are kind of like quote unquote ugly about themselves, I think people are kind of shy. Like, especially with us, like I think for the first, I don't know how many years, might even be 6 or 7, where we after the whole honeymoon sex time, we realized, which is really short, we're like, oh shit, are we sexually incompatible? But it was just my incapability to explain what I wanted because I grew up in such a sheltered way. So whatever fix I couldn't get with you, I had to get out through jacking off. And then that kind of like put a big old wedge in our sexual chemistry. Yeah. And so like, I think, like how do you think people can be more upfront? Or you think, because I know a lot of guys in this day and age are porn addicts. Like porn jokes, Pornhub, porn, whatever. Everyone is like, like everyone.
Porn jokes? That's like, a website?
No, like just like anytime someone throws a porn joke out there in any Netflix special, everyone gets it. It's a roar because everyone does it, you know? Yeah. So like in this day and age, like could be a very unhealthy thing for the sex life of a couple. That for sure is like very unhealthy. Yeah, but how do people talk about it, you know? Because like if there's a judgment angle, like, it's hard. If there's a judgment angle from the female, like, oh my God, it's the fucking porn addict, then the guy wants to hide it even more. Yeah, well, I mean, it's really hard because we're all raised in just different households, right? And we're all conditioned depending on our gender and society and all that stuff, right? So I think the first layer, I can't speak in general because I mean, that's just not my field of expertise. I can only speak for myself and us, right? So I didn't start having sex until I was 19. So Did you masturbate before that? I did. But even masturbating, I felt guilty for doing, right? When did you start masturbating? I think I started
Damn. I think I probably started junior high, like late junior high, maybe 7th grade, 8th grade.
So like 12, 13, 14?
Yeah,
just
something
messing
like
around?
that. Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
But I've always felt so guilty. So sex wasn't something that was openly discussed in my house.
Yeah.
Even like with movies that we would watch and stuff, as soon as my mom started saying that they would get a little bit close, right? Like, you know, in the movie, you can tell like the guy will pick the girl up.
The saxophone starts playing.
Yeah, and it goes slow-mo, and you know they're walking into the bedroom and some shit's about to go down. My mom would she'd be like, okay, she's like scrambling around, like, where's the remote? You know, like she'd get so panicky.
My mom's like that too.
And then, so then we change it. And then, so that's just what was normal for me. So I saw that as something like, ooh, that's naughty. But inside I was like, oh, damn, that looks fun. What are they about to do? I want to know what they're about to do. And then I hit puberty and all that. And then my mom, like, I mainly talk about my mom because my dad was always working. So, and then at least in our household, I don't know if it's typical for all Mexicans across the board for this, but girls talk about girl things with girls. So moms talk to girls about intimate specific things, and then dads talk to boys about intimate specific things.
Like like getting your first period, or wearing a bra, like that kind of stuff.
Or like dressing inappropriately, or you know, the way you should be behaving or whatever. Yeah. Like women deal with the girls like that.
But your mom didn't talk to you about sex?
No, never. And then that's not something my dad would ever do. So then when it came time to talk to me about like my body changing, like I remember I had my first period, but because she did such a poor job, and no offense or shade thrown on my mom, like she did the best she could. And I'm sure that's kind of the lineage she came from, of like, let's not talk about sex.
Yeah. They all just figured it out.
We all just figured it out. So when I got my first period, I was so embarrassed. I remember I was in Ensenada with my dad on a fishing trip. It was just us two. I just bled, but I didn't even know what was happening. I was just like, oh shit.
Like you felt it first, or you saw it first?
I saw it.
You want to drink some water? I could just hear phlegm constantly forming.
I know, oh my God. So I saw it first. I'm gonna drink some water. I don't know why my voice always gets like this.
Marbury's recovering from a little sickness too, so that's probably why there's a little phlegm action in there.
Oh my God, how annoying. Okay. So, yeah. And then I remember I had to hide my underwear. I don't know why I didn't throw my underwear away. This is
wait, did you answer my question? Did you feel it first, or you saw it first?
I saw it first. I answered your question.
Shit.
Yeah. So I saw it first, and I'm like, shit. So I get home. I like hide my underwear, but at this point, my mom's doing my underwear, and she's like, she finds it, and she comes to me. She's like, how come you didn't tell me? And I'm like, so embarrassed. I was just mortified, embarrassed, like even ashamed.
Because we don't have that kind of relationship, Mom.
I didn't know that.
You didn't establish a cool relationship with me, so I can't open up to you, Mom.
Yeah, so then that's just kind of a glimpse into like the rest of my upbringing, right?
Yeah.
So that's not even, I'm pretty sure the religion aspect of it was embedded into it, but religion was never like shoved down my throat. Like I didn't have to go to church every Sunday. Like we didn't have to pray all the time. Like my mom definitely prayed all the time, and I had the picture. You still
went to like a communion or whatever, right?
I did that because that's just what you do to accept the religion, right? You make your first communion, or you do your first communion, and then you do your confirmation. And then the church, you recognize the church, and the church recognizes you. So then when you want to get married by a church, then they're like, okay, cool, you're a Catholic, you have all the prereqs, good, yay. But that was the extent of it. Like I didn't have to like do voluntary work. I didn't do any of that stuff. But there was always a picture of Jesus in every single room.
So you masturbated with the Jesus on the wall?
That's what I was getting at. So then stuff like that, like when I started feeling the urge, I was just like, oh my God, like I'm so ashamed, like God's right there, like holy crap. Like it was always something that was looked down on. Like you don't want to dress a certain way because you don't want to be a puta, right? Like you don't want to look like a whore.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to wear this type of makeup because then you're going to be a puta. You don't want to like hang out with these people because they're going to think you're a puta. Like everything was surrounded by sex being negative. It was never like you want to look like sexuality wasn't anything to be embraced.
Yeah.
It was always like you only have sex to make kids. And it wasn't like directly told you, but it was implied.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so I grew up that way, and I always felt ashamed of these things. And now fast forward to when like now I'm older, and like all my peers are talking about sex, and they're like going to like hook up and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, this is fun. Like everyone else is doing it, like talking about it. Like Like, yeah.
How old are you now? Like 15, 16?
Like 15, 16, yeah. And then, but I still wasn't doing anything because and I had an older sister too that kind of, it seemed to me at least that she followed the books and was like my parents' like prodigy kid, like the perfect.
And you found out later she was fucking her brains out?
Well, yeah. And like she just seemed so innocent. She didn't wear makeup. She didn't dress like a puta. Like she was like a varsity on like the softball, basketball team. Like she was a great student, got accepted to Stanford and all these other schools. So then I'm like, oh, that's my role model. Okay. So my other friends and all the people that's bad, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Right. So then, like I remember asking my sister very vaguely, I'm like, well, how did you know when you were ready to have sex or something? And she's like, oh, like, you just know. And I'm like, okay. And like another time I asked my brother, I was like, hey man, I was watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah.
This is how oblivious I was. This is in high school, dude, how oblivious I was to just sex. And they mentioned how Carlton was a virgin. Because I think in this episode, a baby mama appeared and he's like, I don't know how this happened. I'm a virgin. And I looked at my brother. I'm like, what's a virgin? And he goes, oh, it's when you believe in the Virgin Mary.
You got all nervous.
Like, yeah, like that's just how awkward shit was in our house.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm like, it's time for me to like have sex. So I'm just feeling all types of like ways, right? Like my hormones are at their peak. And I'm just like, okay, well, I'm 19. I'm in high school now. I know what I'm doing. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
College, right? 19?
I'm sorry. I said I'm out of high school.
Oh, I thought you said you're in high school.
My bad. I'm out of high school.
Oh, okay.
I know what I'm doing, but like everything that I based my sex on were just these like minor like glimpses of porn that I watched. Because at that time, porn wasn't as accessible as it is now.
Yeah.
It was very like, I remember we had the black dish, like the satellite, like the huge satellite dish.
Yeah.
And then me and my girlfriend, my friend who's a girl, she would come over and we would like get high, and then we would watch like for jokes. I'm pretty sure we were watching it for the same reasons, but as jokes, we would watch like some porn and like laugh at it.
Yeah.
But then whatever I saw, I was like, oh shit, okay, I guess that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be like hella exaggerated and like, oh yeah, fuck me, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's what I got to do. But I think when
So your first time having sex for hella vocal?
It wasn't like that because I just felt like that really wasn't me.
Right there. Oh yeah.
No. Oh. But the first time it was like, it felt more, I don't know. I think I was just like, oh shit, this is gonna happen.
Yeah.
That like, it was more natural.
Yeah.
But every time after that, it was like that. It was like, oh my God, let's bring the candles. Let's do that. Let's play music. Like just whatever I saw in the media that was happening.
Yeah.
So it was never, like sex was never a thing that like I got to talk to about with any of my partners actually. Like thinking back at it, like I never had an open dialogue about things that I like or things that I didn't like. I think at that age of like, maybe 16 all the way to like, I don't know, 20, late 20s maybe.
Yeah.
Like, or mid 20s, you're kind of like just a horny ball.
Yeah,
so it's like anything goes just as long as you can get your nut off, you know?
Yeah.
So I like looking back at it now, I don't ever feel like I had like any sense of like, I knew what I liked.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand like how to initiate stuff.
Did you think what you liked was weird at all? Like for example, like within our circle of friends, there's people that like to get choked, or there's people that might like ball gags or like crazy shit, right? Like as you kind of get more and more sexual experience, you just start realizing there's different things that turn you on. There's even people out there.
I think I was pretty innocent.
Yeah,
I didn't know any of that. I didn't know that people actually like that stuff. I just thought we all kind of had similar sex drives because all my partners, they were all like basically the same. Like no one ever.
Did you ever come across like the BDSM stuff like way early on? Oh, okay.
Oh, like in real life?
Just like watching porno.
Early on? Like what do you mean by early on?
Like so now you know what you like, right? So if you see something that's not what you like. I think. Okay, so you kind of know what you like. When you see something that is not what you like, you go, oh, okay, that's not me. But before that, like, did you ever come across things that weren't you and you're like, oh shit, that shit's crazy. And you're like, am I supposed to like this? Did you ever have those kind of thoughts?
Maybe anal when I first saw it. I was like, whoa, this shit's crazy. Because that's not something that was openly like now it's very open to talk about anal and all this shit.
Yeah.
But when I was growing up, like you don't talk about that. Like it wasn't as open. And I think anal was way more taboo back in the day. And it was like probably more disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it was as open as it is now. So when I first saw that, I'm like, that just doesn't look right.
Yeah.
I don't get it. That's one of the ones that I was like, whoa. And
did you have a boyfriend that was like, hey, I want to try it?
I did.
And then how were you put off by it? Did you want to do it?
No, so because I don't know anything and I was very like not easily, that's not the right word. Like I was not naive, just so inexperienced that I just wanted to like, okay, well, let's just try. Like, I just want to see what I like and what I don't like.
You're pretty open-minded.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so.
Did your boyfriend at the time feel like he was shy though? Like he was like, hey, have you ever wondered if we put in the butt?
No, this is what was cool about this guy. So he was my second ever. But he was very open about like the porn that he watched. Like he was down to be as open with everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So like I knew him and his brother like watched porn and they shared the same fucking stash. It was weird, but I was like, I respect that and I appreciate that.
He's open with his sexuality.
Yeah. So I was like, that's really cool. Tight. But what was also very interesting was the first time we were about to have sex, he was so shy. Like he couldn't put a condom on in front of me. It was so weird.
Oh.
Yeah. And then I was so embarrassed, but I wanted to just play it off.
That actually makes sense though. Because if he's so used to fucking himself, like his comfort zone is himself. You know, so the first time that he's going to do it with someone else, like that's outside of his comfort zone.
Yeah.
So that's pretty normal, I think.
Yeah. And then what was really weird that now I look back on, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so stupid. And this goes to show you just like how little we know, was like, I was embarrassed, obviously, because I'm not like comfortable with my body. And I'm like, oh shit, this is crazy. And then there's this guy who's like all shy in the corner, like trying to put on a condom. And I'm just like, yeah, come on, let's fuck. And then after I said that, I was like, what the fuck does that even mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even speak like this. This is so weird.
But you're just trying to get in the mood, in the zone.
Yeah, but like I just only knew porn talk.
Yeah.
So I was just like, come on, fuck me. You know, it was weird.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm a late bloomer, but this was like, I was what, like 20, I don't know, like in my early 20s.
Yeah. Sex is a really weird thing. I've had friends that are mutual friends that you know, and like they'll be dating a girl that's super like innocent on the outside. And then like when they have sex, it's like, fucking own this pussy. You fucking own it. Own this pussy. and then like when I hear stories like this, I'm just like,
oh shit.
What the fuck? That's fucking crazy. Because it's like girls that you think are like, they don't even cuss in real life, you know? They're like, so like.
They have all this pent up emotion.
Yeah, it's not Mariel, but imagine Mariel. Someone like that. David's girlfriend. Oh, this fucking pussy, you fucking bitch.
But we're not talking about her.
Yeah. I'm like, damn. So there's like people that who they are, like as a normal person, and then who they are in bed. And like, that's the part where I feel like, sometimes they're the same, sometimes they're not the same, and it's just really hard getting to like tell your partner what you want. Like the guy that you had, he's lucky and you're lucky that he didn't have any shame. Yeah. So he was open to you, right? Yeah. But I think most people's sexuality problems comes from their own sexual insecurity, and then it manifests in the relationship.
Yeah. Well, on that note, I think this is a really good segue to introduce our sponsor and what they're all about, Lola. So I'm super excited about today's sponsor. I know I say this every time, but I am always so excited about these sponsors because I personally back them up, okay? So today's sponsor is Lola, and I'm excited because they are a subscription-based company that offers feminine, well, before I even say anything else, they're a female-founded, holy crap, my tongue, company that is offering a line of organic cotton tampons, pads, liners, and all natural cleansing wipes, y'all. And as a woman, I'm benefiting from this, and I want to support my other females out there doing great things for females, but without alienating Bart here. Yes, I'm super stoked Because I don't know if you're anything like me, but this is kind of a two-parter of me. I'm slightly like a little bit embarrassed to go to the supermarket or Target or whatever and have to buy tampons. So like I'm that person that like if I buy tampons and all I needed were tampons or pads, then I have to buy like a t-shirt or something next to it. So you just don't see that I just bought this big ass pad or box or whatever case of tampons. Like I'm that person. Okay. So Lola is coming into the rescue because I can customize it. I can say how frequently I want to receive a box, how many boxes I want to get, the absorbency that I want to get. Like I can get light, I can get like normal or regular. And it's super freaking cool. And it's all discreetly done. The packaging's really, really cool. And yeah, like, come on, like, why wouldn't you do it? The other part of it is I'm lazy, y'all. Like, I don't want to think about it. Like, I'm the person that when I go to the supermarket or I go to the store, or I go get something that I know I'm going to have to refill or stock up on, I get like 2 or 3 of them. But what happens is, at least with the period stuff, like you can't really say like, okay, you can't calculate it, right? You can't be like, okay, well, this month I think I'm only going to use 40 tampons. Like it doesn't work like that. Your body's going to tell you, and Mother Nature's going to be like, bitch, today we're going to go heavy. Or, hey, you know what, bitch, I'm only going to let you bleed for 3 days. Like this is really cool because now I don't have to think about it anymore. Like it already sucks that every single month I have to think about when's my period gonna happen? Oh, damn it, it's here. And then to be like, oh my God, do I have enough pads for that? And then like have to go through all that. Like Lola helps you in that department and it makes it a lot easier to get your period every month. So you guys, I swear to you, you're going to love this as much as I do. So because of that, I'm going to hook you guys up, or we're going to hook you guys up with 40% off all subscriptions. All you got to do is visit mylola.com and enter BEAW, BEAW. Again, y'all, 40% off. Like, what do you got to lose right now? Like, try it, check it out. You can skip months. You can say, hey, you know what? I only want to receive for the first month and the last month, and skip 2 months in between. You can do all that. You can customize everything to you, like your period. No, Lola knows that you're unique. Okay, so it's mylola.com. Enter BEAW, BEAW, and you get 40% off. Okay, take it back.
And thank you for sponsoring us, Lola. So, like, for example, with us.
Or I want to hear your story, though, because I kind of walked you through why things were like. Oh, okay. So I'm kind of like taking you on my journey as to like how that led all into, our communication and our incompatibility. Yeah.
So my sexual experience starts in like 2nd grade.
What? Oh, you know what? I had something like that too.
So
I didn't know what it was.
So I was always really good at pull-ups. I was always really good at the jungle gym. I was a little climber, the way Taika is. But Taika, I'm watching for you. As soon as I see those hips moving a certain way, I know what you're doing, because your dad did the same shit.
Oh my God.
So as a young 2nd grader, and I was 7. I loved just climbing stuff. Like I think one of my favorite things was I love how like the firemen would just go down the poles, like at least in the cartoons and stuff. And so I would climb poles, flag poles, jungle gyms all the time. And then somehow I realized if I climb a pole a certain way, I would get this funny feeling in the pants. And I don't even know what it was called. But every day at recess, before recess was over, I would get my nut off. And I'm a little 7-year-old. Just because I know I'm like, oh, cool. Anybody looking? Because it's a weird looking climb. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. No one's looking. Oh, I'm going to go climb that pole. And I'll bust a nut. And then go off and make mud balls and stuff like that. So 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade. And growing up, my mom's extreme Buddhist. So it's very, very strict. And kind of like your mom, whenever we would watch a movie, any type of love scene comes on, she would come up with the weirdest tangents. Oh, anybody want an orange milkshake? And I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Like, we're just, she just felt so uncomfortable, try to cover it up. And so that made me feel weird because she wasn't open about it. And then because my parents were divorced when I was 6, I just never saw very much affection at all. So much to the point.
That was intense.
Yeah.
Affection at all.
So much to the point where you're probably gonna make fun of me for this, and I don't think I've ever revealed this, but my first girlfriend.
I know this.
What?
Yeah, you had trouble holding her hand and hugging her and doing all that stuff. You did reveal it.
Closer than we thought. So 8th or 9th grade, I have trouble holding her hand, and I just see like people, they just hold hands like it's so natural. And then we would all go out, and you know how I would inch my way into being affectionate.
Oh, creepy.
So we would be watching TV, and like I'm even uncomfortable just arms touching each other.
Really?
Yeah.
Aww.
So what I would do is like when she had to go use the bathroom, then I would all of a sudden be like this. And when she comes back, then she sits here, and then my arm slowly comes down. Like I couldn't even make the first move.
That's so cute.
That's how
stunted
I was. Yeah. Because I just didn't have any affection, never saw that. Buddhism, it's all about, hey, like there's not that much affection and all that. And then the only affection I ever saw were my grandparents and to hold hands. But, you know, you don't ever see romance. You know, it's just two old people loving each other. And then all the way, so fast forward until like I was junior high, then I just started rubbing my nuts one day, and all of a sudden I fucking bust nuts. I was like, oh shit, stuff comes out of here. And then so from then on, it feels good. You have all these hormones, so you just consistently masturbate. And back in those days, we would only jack off to pictures. Because this is like, if you're...
How old are you?
Probably like 12, 13. This is when you had 28K. And then if you're willing to pay the extra, then you had 56K. But the norm was 28K. So what we would do is I had a buddy named Janesh, and he would, since he had like the fastest computer and all that stuff, he would be the one that would download all these pictures and put them on CDs and just pass them out to people.
Damn, he was balling.
So there's like a CD, yeah. And he had a burner. So you would just have a CD, and then you would put that in, and there might be like, I don't know, like 12 pictures on there.
Wow.
So those were those days. And it was to the point where like I was so horny sometimes that you get sick of those CDs. And I'm like, what the fuck do I have? And I would start like looking up random clip art. So it'll be like cartoon, like cartoon, like you know, the Goofy movie?
Yeah.
What kind of animal is that? Is that a dog?
Yeah, he is.
Okay, so it'll be like, imagine he had a hot sister in a bikini. So it's technically like an animal, but it's like a hot animal. Kind of like not Bugs Bunny, but what's the other bunny? Roger Rabbit. Who's that hot chick in there?
Well, she's a human.
Oh, fuck it. What's another? Isn't there a hot cartoon animal?
Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, but like I would bust nuts to all those things because they're just so rare to get material.
Yeah. That one scene from The Lion King, Nala, when she gets thrown on her back because her and Simba are like
fighting. She had fuck me eyes, but I never busted nuts to her.
Okay.
But that's how hard it was to get stuff. And then because it's so hard, you're also so taboo. And like it was just so private. And then I remember my first time ever having sex, I was 15 and I was with my girlfriend for like a month, and then we saw each other every day. So like, you know, when you're with each other, like things move fast. Because in the beginning, when
for a month,
yeah,
like I think you're the one, baby.
Yeah,
I think you're the one too.
Because when we first got together, it's like, oh, what do you think about sex? Oh, I'm gonna wait till marriage. Oh yeah, me too. Yeah. And then like a month later, I think I'm ready. Oh, I think I'm ready too. And then I didn't have condoms. I ran downstairs, grabbed some Ran Wrap.
Oh my God.
I asked her if I could use it. She was like, no. I'm like, fuck. So I got on a bike, and then, because I'm 15, and I rode down to the local liquor store, got some condoms, came back, and then I was just pounding away like I knew how, like in pornos, you know? I didn't know what I was doing, and I think she was probably ashamed, so she wasn't giving me much feedback, so it was just pretty much like two people jacking off with each other. That kind of thing. No caressing, no talking to each other or anything like that.
Oh, wow.
It's just two bodies like humping away. But we did it a lot, you know, all the time. But still not too much like talking about it. And I think I've kind of been some sort of that way throughout my entire sexual life until I got with you. And then even till then, I was still kind of the same way, where I'm just kind of like an Energizer bunny, you know? And then and I think that's when we found out we're kind of incompatible. And it wasn't that we're incompatible, it's just I wasn't able to share anything because I was so ashamed of what I liked. Like, you didn't find out that I like white lingerie, white underwear and stuff like that. You didn't know that I liked that until later. And I just kept all that stuff to myself.
Yeah.
And because I think you were so like open, I remember like the first time you would just touch me and you would ask me things during sex. And that was like the first time I even got verbal communication during sex.
First time ever?
Ever. I just got so intimidated. I was like, oh shit, what the fuck? She's fucking crazy.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Ever? Damn.
Yeah.
Wait, how many partners have you had? Oh, not that many, right? I don't remember anymore.
No, not that many.
Damn. And none of them ever talked to you?
No, not really. None of them communicated like that. You know, usually I think like, also keep in mind, I grew up in a time where it's like hella gangs. So in that hella gang type world, a lot of the people from that generation is like dudes are fucking dudes and chicks are chicks. So I think a lot of girls, they just view themselves like, yeah, I'm horny too, but I'm gonna just give it to the dude the way he wants it.
I guess.
I mean, it's like gang chivalry.
I see.
You know, like the girl would just stand there next to your Integra and just wait until the guy opens the door. And the guy opens the door and she gets in. It's just like, there's like this type of like chemistry.
I see.
You know, it was just, then that transferred all the way into the bedroom, like all that kind of stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I've like looking back at all my sexual like experiences and stuff. I think we've said this in another episode where I don't want to say regretful because it looks like we're living in the past, but I think we both mentioned that we wish we had more partners. Cause then like I talk to my girlfriends who have had like more partners. Yeah. Like way more partners. And they just sound like they know what they want. They know what they don't want. They sound more comfortable, confident. And I'm not saying all this stuff to say, oh, you got to get more partners to do that. No, but like not at all. Like you do what you want to do with your sexuality and your sex life and whatnot. I'm just speaking for myself and just how I like to learn things. Or like, I don't know. It's hard because then I also felt very intimidated if any of my partners had a long list of partners.
That's
too.
what I mean. I think it's
Isn't that crazy?
I think it's about compatibility. So for example, if I was with one of those chicks in your circle,
yeah,
I'm already intimidated by you, right? And I only had a handful of partners. Then I come in with someone that maybe had 30, 40 partners, and then they know exactly what they want. I'm going to be I might shell up even more.
Yeah.
You know? So I think sometimes it is cool to find people with the same level of experience, but I think ultimately it's how comfortable and how open you guys make each other feel. Because I can see a virgin with someone that has like 100 partners too.
Yeah.
But how can that foundation be laid where people don't feel intimidated or feel judged? Because I think that was the hard part.
That is really hard. So I think what helped us was the fact that like we made each other feel safe. And I think it was me more making you feel safer just because I think you came from a more extreme background than I did. So I felt like at least in that scenario, I needed to kind of step up to the plate a little bit more than you because I had less restrictions than you did, even though I have so many.
Because you didn't even know I watched pornos until like 4 or 5 years in. Because I was kind of scared to share that with you.
No, I didn't know you watched porn until like 6 or 7 years in. It was a long time. Like you didn't share any of that with me.
I was so scared about the sexuality stuff.
And then like, because I've had like a partner that I thought like had cheated on me or whatever and like was so flirtatious with people and I would find numbers on him all the time, that I just got really good at like snooping around, right? And I remember like in the beginning of our relationship, like I would snoop around in your stuff and I wouldn't find anything ever. Like you were so good. So I'm like, dude, what am I doing? Like I hate this person that I am. Like I don't want to snoop around and like have this insecurity. So I just stopped. So I'm like, I need to give you your space or whatever. But I didn't find anything. That's my point. Like you were just so hidden about it. Yeah, so I just thought that like, when it came to us, I just thought that something was wrong with me for being overly sexual because I didn't have the experience of having, you know, a really good compatible sexual partner or multiple sexual partners where I can see patterns of likes and dislikes.
Yeah.
That I didn't know that my sexual drive was okay. It was normal. I just thought like, shit, like I respect Papa so much and like he's so badass and I think he's so perfect. and this is how he is. Like, why am I so animalistic? Why can't I get my thoughts straight? You know? And then coming from a Catholic background, even though it wasn't as extreme as what your upbringing was, like, it's still embedded in my mind. Like, as much as I don't want to believe in these things because it's just part of, like, because I grew up in it so much, it's just something I'll never be able to erase. So like all these things started coming up into my mind where I'm like, fuck, I need to suppress all this stuff because it's not right. Like I thought I was the one with the problem because I'm like, fuck, man, like, why am I so horny all the time? Like, why am I trying to do all this shit?
Yeah. And then we found out that we're equally horny.
Yeah, which was awesome.
Yeah.
But I think what helped a lot was it was just like having that, like, okay, this is some fucking extreme shit. Like, our relationship's really fucked up right now. Like, we see each other as brother and sister. Like, I'm constantly annoyed by Bart.
A hot sister.
Thank you. I'm constantly annoyed by Bart, which later comes out to being like, I'm really hurt by Bart because he doesn't lust for me. And like, I feel very deprived of love. And then maybe for you on your end, you're like, man, Gio's always a fucking bitch to me. Like all I'm trying to do is like build a future. Like, and she doesn't appreciate or respect me. But like, I don't know how you would return that to me. Maybe you were just, I don't know.
I probably just became more closed off.
Yeah,
like
you can say anything to me.
I'm trying to think like the super rough spot that we're in. If other people are in that same rough spot, like how do we open it up? But then it's hard because like where we were at, even if you found nothing and you came to me and you're like, hey, do you watch porno? I probably would have lied to you. You know, because I just felt so intimidated. I just felt so ashamed too. I was like, I wish I didn't have to watch porno, but I don't know how else to get off. And so I don't know how, like, what we would do at that situation. Well,
and I don't recommend this to anyone. I won't say it. Maybe we have talked about it. But for us, it was just so extreme that so obviously the first one would be like, okay, go to therapy.
Yeah.
Obviously go to therapy, right? If something's wrong with you, like if your tooth hurts, you go see a dentist. If you have severe stomach ache and it doesn't go away, you go see, a medical doctor. If your brain space or your heart's broken, then yeah, you should probably see a psychiatrist or a therapist of some sort to help you with that. But like for us, we just felt like it needed to start within us first. So we needed to really just sit there and be like, what the fuck is going on? Like, are we going to break up? Is this going to be a divorce? Like, it needed to get to a very extreme case for us to be like, oh shit, this is serious.
Yeah.
Because like all these little like this back and forth of Gio going fuck you and then you just kind of not saying anything, like this back and forth that we did, like it just felt like, okay, that's just today. Oh, that's just today. But it wasn't until we were like, what the fuck? We fucking hate each other. Like, what's going on? Like, are we going to get a fucking divorce? Like, I think once that was put on the table, then it was like, oh shit, we're really bad. Because before then, we never talked about ever breaking up.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, maybe when we were heated or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, no one ever counts that shit because you just, I don't know, you're just being an emotional wreck.
Yeah.
But we were seriously like, fuck, are we going to split up?
Yeah.
Like, what do we do about the businesses? What, like, are we going to be cordial with each other? Like, are we still going to be on JK? Like, what's going to happen? Like, it got really serious.
Yeah.
And that's what it took us to really like go, holy shit. Like, could that have been resolved if we were like seeing a therapist for ourselves? Could we have maybe pinpointed that out sooner?
Yeah, possibly. Because I think like, because I was so intimidated, maybe if I saw a therapist, maybe when we're talking and I can finally voice to someone like, hey, I do watch porno, I do jack off, I do find her very attractive, but for some reason I can't connect the two. I don't know why. I can't explain to her the things that I like. And then when we have sex, it just feels like robot sex and we're just doing it to do it, but then we're not really connected. And then like one thing we found out later on is that both you and I like it really, really slow.
Oh, you're turning me on.
But before, we would just both pound away. Like, you're just trying to get off. I'm just trying to get off. We're like,
well, that's just because that was your style. Because I would try to do stuff and you were just like,
yeah, I would just freeze up.
Okay.
I'm so insecure. I'm so insecure about it,
Yeah.
And then finally found out we both just like it really, really slow. And then it was cool to open up about it. But I think, yeah, like maybe if I had a therapist or we had a therapist, then I can talk to them and like, but the important thing too, I think, is if you do get a therapist, you got to be
Oh, fucking honest.
100% honest and honorable. Because you also don't want to be that grumpy military grandpa where it's like, doctors are pussies. And then you go there and they're like, sir, is there something wrong with the pancreas? Fuck you. You know, so like, even though you're there, you're not opening up. If you're like, hey, I pee blood and I have a hard time getting out of bed.
Yeah. Even now, I don't know if I'm disillusional. Is that even a word?
Delusional?
Oh my God. I just make up my own words all the time.
You do?
I don't know if I'm like, you know what happens? Because I think a lot of this shit in Spanish and then I try to translate it into English. So I mix a lot of my English and Spanish.
What's the delusional word that you're thinking about in Spanish?
It doesn't matter. Because I'm going to lose my train of thought. Hold on.
Fine.
God damn it.
What?
I think I lost it.
No, you didn't. You know what's something delusional? Disillusional? What was delusional?
Oh.
See?
That like, I never felt like I ever needed therapy, that's why I'm saying I think I'm delusional. I always felt like, even now, sometimes I feel like I can talk some sense into myself and be like, okay, this is wrong. Wait, why is this wrong? And like, I'll constantly go, why? Why did this happen? Why did this happen? Oh, okay. Maybe because of that. Okay. Well, now you got to learn not to do that. But it was hard for me to have to admit that like, oh shit, I might actually not know how to deal with this.
Yeah, for sure delusional.
Yeah. Okay, for sure delusional. Cause I'm like, no, I can handle this. But then it was like, oh shit, no, I can't. And like, I just didn't, that's another thing that it was never discussed in my household, like therapy. Like you don't tell strangers your shit. Like it's so hard for me. Like this is,
because there's a stigma that you think like, oh, they're cuckoo too. Or they're like, well, why are you telling, and why are you airing out all this fucking private shit too?
Right. That. And then like I was just never raised to just complain about your shit all the time. Like, yeah, you can bicker about like shit that bothers you. Right? Like, like this hurts or like, this or whatever. But when it came to real problems, like you don't talk about that. Like my mom was never that way. Like none of us ever talk about shit like that. So when I got introduced, and this was why I think I loved Asian people so much at that point. And this is Asian Americans, because I grew up with nothing but like Mexicans and Asian Americans in the 626, was Asians were just so free to talk about whatever they wanted to talk about. Really? At least the girls in my circle. Yeah.
So they talked about like sex and all that
stuff? They weren't gangster. No. And because we were also younger.
Oh, okay.
So we didn't really talk about sex, but they would just say shit that was so open and crazy for me that I was like, whoa, you guys are so free.
Like what? Like, because that's the most opposite to Asian stereotype that I know.
Yeah, now
they're usually the most closed.
But they'll just be like, so I was raised like very ladylike, if you will. Like me sitting like this is me going, like my mom is probably like cringing right now for me to have my leg this way.
Yeah.
For me to be this way or for me to be talking with my hands. My mom was always like, don't fucking do that. A lady does not do that. So a lady had to be literally like this. This way. Okay, there's no like I wouldn't even wear shit that shows cleavage. Like this clothes is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
This way, and then you're just proper. You just talk this way.
Yeah.
You don't talk about having to burp. You don't burp out loud. You don't like they would like Asian people would just burp out loud, or they would sit like this and talk, and their parents are there, and I'm like, holy shit, you guys are free as fuck.
I could never sit like that.
Maybe they were Cantonese. I don't know. Just kidding.
They're different. I mean, like the way I was raised, it's a lot of rules.
Yeah.
So if there's an adult present, if I was slouching, I am fucked.
Same.
To the point where my parents would yell at my friends.
Oh, no, not like that.
And then if I'm sitting there watching TV, when my mom comes in the house, I'm standing up first, greeting her, and then I sit back down. Like there's a lot of rules.
Oh, that's crazy. It wasn't that extreme.
So my mom thought all my friends, my mom and I thought all my friends were barbarians.
Oh, damn. Yeah, so when I entered this Asian circle, I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. I'm like so free. I forgot what my whole point of all this stuff was. Oh yeah, so all that stuff wasn't talked about. So yeah, so you can already see all the restrictions that I was raised in.
Yeah.
So now for you to complain about your personal life, that's just like, what the fuck? Your life is derailing out of control. Like, what are you doing? So like even now in my 30s, like when I hear girls or like my friends just be so open about like any complaints or anything that they have, I'm like, that is fucking tight. Like I have to try really hard to open up about like shit I don't like. You know, like it all happens in my head first.
Yeah.
And then I go, oh, I think this is some shit that I should share. That's what creates friendships. Like I'm not like that robotic,
Yeah.
But it's a little bit harder for me because I don't ever want to be someone that comes off as like whiny or complaining. Like I don't want to bring the spirits down of people.
Yeah. Same
Even
here.
though they don't do that to me.
Yeah.
Like when they share stuff with me, I'm like, I actually really enjoy that. Like, yeah, let's talk about that. Let's build on that. Like let's resolve it together. Like I think it's so cool. But when it comes from me to them, I'm like, ooh, I don't want to bother them with that type of shit.
You think it's also like a sense of vulnerability too? Like you don't want to expose yourself that way?
I don't think it is. Because like I'll admittedly.
I think it is actually.
Me?
Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah.
Tell me why.
I actually think you're very insecure about your vulnerabilities.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like what?
Like, you know, like all the things that you always want to go 50-50 on.
Yeah.
And then like, oh, like we have 50-50 money, we got 50-50 this, 50-50 responsibility, whatever. Yeah. And I think that's coming from a place of insecurity where you can't just let someone take the lead on something. I mean, now more so because
it was really my upbringing,
because
though.
now it's lifestyle changing.
Yeah.
I mean, the life for sure. Your upbringing probably created the insecurity, but now it's being a stay-at-home mom. It's just going to be impossible for you to make the same amount of money that I can make, and it's just going to be impossible.
Oh, is it? Is that a challenge?
It's a challenge.
I'm just kidding.
But it's just impossible, you know. So and it's impossible for me to bring 50-50 with the amount of time I spend with Taika than you do because you're a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
So for now, like we've molded our family a certain way where there's a lot of things that are like more 80-20 on this end, 80-20 on that end. But I think for you, there's for sure a lot of things that I've noticed that you're very insecure with being vulnerable in certain places. I think you want to seem either outwardly like I got this or tough or anything, but you're not like even with like JK Party, for example.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's games that you don't like or punishments that you don't like.
Yeah.
And I think you'd rather not bring the vibes down versus there are other cast members that behind like, hey, next time I don't want to eat dairy anymore. Or next time if you guys are going to eat another habanero, can I not do it? You know, people, they're okay with being vulnerable. But for you, I think there's a huge insecurity with being vulnerable with certain people.
Is it vulnerable?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to bring the vibes down?
Because I don't think that's your true intention. Like, for example, with me, I'm almost... If it's a group of people, everyone wants Korean barbecue, and then you want In-N-Out, that's bringing the vibes down. But with you and me, I'm almost impossible to bring the vibes down. My vibes are pretty happy most of the time. And even with me, you still want to have certain 50-50 things, and you don't want to be that vulnerable with me. And I think because you also still want to be like, hey, I'm your equal partner, but you'll forever be my equal partner in my eyes.
Damn, I don't see it that way. I don't see it that it's like a vulnerability. What the fuck? I can't say it. I don't see it that way. I just see it as like, I want to be fair. Is that being like not vulnerable?
Well, because what's the point of the fairness? Like why is fair on a pedestal?
Because I don't know. I just think I really value fairness. Like this time, like if I get something, then I want you to feel my same joy and I want you to have the same thing. Yeah. Like I want it to be fair that way. Yeah. You know, and then
but some things are impossible.
It is impossible, but if I can control it as much as I can, like something as insignificant as food, then I'm like, hey, you know what? I've been noticing like you keep bending over backwards for me. Here, this time you can have it.
Yeah. The fairness part is there's also merit to that too.
Yeah.
But for example, like the making sure we bring equal money into the household.
Yeah.
Like that to me, I think is pretty insecurity because it's just impossible. Like if you're going to spend most of your time with Taika, it's going to be really hard to make money. Yeah. To run businesses and stuff like that. But for you to always constantly have this looming thing like, okay, what else can I do to uphold my side? Like I don't want to, I want to be a team player. I don't want to let anyone down. But I'm like, who are you letting down? You're not letting anybody down. I love you like crazy. I don't care if you work or not.
This is very cutie. Thank you very much. I don't know. I think I've always been like that. Where maybe I call it fairness. It could be something else. Yeah. Maybe I'm always like, I want to be fair, but maybe it's something else.
Like my drive that I have for training. Yeah. For sure that's an insecurity too. You know, like I think like I don't it just so happens that it's has cool benefits. Like I'm able to be healthy and I'm able to be like 35 this year and I could probably outplay mid 20-year-old dads. You know, I think Taika's gonna have a benefit of that. Yeah. But I think like even this morning, like all last night I had body aches, chills and stuff. And then so I even turned off my alarm. I was like, I need to sleep in. I'm not going to train today because my body's feeling pretty wrecked. I turned it off. And then I just had all these cold sweats and stuff. And then I randomly, naturally woke up at 6 for some reason. And I looked at the time and it was 6. And I'm like, well, I'm not that bad. And I was like, don't be a little fucking bitch. Don't hide behind that sickness. What are you hiding behind the fucking little? So it's insecurity. Like there's a insecurity of me like feeling like if I miss one training session, I'm a little bitch or something, you know?
Yeah.
So maybe I'm not even secure with being vulnerable with myself.
Yeah.
Because there's no one judging me.
Yeah.
There's no one at the gym like taking fucking roll. Oh, Bart didn't show up today, you fucking little bitch. I'm just taking my own role all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. But I guess going back on the main topic of like, how do people even bring this up? And then one of the suggestions was, well, there's always therapy, right? And we do have people that we're close to that are even currently going into that now. And they come back and they kind of report what went on in their sessions and stuff. And I'm like, oh, damn, that's actually really cool. So that's always one way to do it. Another way is like...
One way that I like a lot that Steve told me that him and Nikki did before is... so here's a story where it's like when him and Nikki were about to go to that breaking point too, they went to the beach and then they have arrows that they take out of their hearts.
Invisible arrows,
like stuff that they cannot say to each other anymore. It's not healthy. Like every time there's a fight and you bring up, we're gonna fucking break up. That is not healthy for the relationship because you're constantly jeopardizing something that's supposed to be sacred.
Yeah.
So I actually really like that, where the two people go to a completely third-party neutral space so it doesn't feel like the same fight in the living room happening over and over again. Go there and both people go there with the understanding, hey, we have to be completely open and non-judgmental. Because whether you intimidated me or not, or whether I perceived that you were judging my porn watching, I don't even know. It might have been self-imposed, you know. But you start, because you have assumptions, you start creating this whole thing, this whole world, this whole attack system on you that may not even exist.
Yeah.
And then you might say something. I'm like, I knew she's gonna fucking judge me, you know. So I think like I really like that. Where Steve is actually recommending that to one of our other friends because they say crazy shit to each other all the fucking time too. And what he's telling them is. Not the arrow technique, because the stuff that they kind of say is way crazier than what him and Nikki used to say to each other, but actually write it down on a piece of paper and then burn them. So to kind of symbolize like, I'm never going to fucking say this again. And if I do, I actually don't care about this relationship and we're actually going to end this.
That's fucking cute.
Yeah.
Steve and Nikki, they come up with an arrow. Like, who comes up with that shit? Yeah. Did he pull it from like the back of his?
No, it's from their hearts, because all the arrows are in their hearts.
No, they pulled it here. Oh, they're in there already.
They're already in there. They already got arrows from each other. You can't say this. You can't say this. You can't say this.
How cute. I wish I could have been like 10 feet away from them.
And just watching
in the
them.
night. Yeah, and then I just see this couple go.
Yeah. Because I think that would be helpful too. Like maybe if we talked, hey, like 5, 6 years in, we're like, damn, what's wrong with our fucking sex life?
Yeah.
And why do you hate me? Why do I hate you? Like obviously we love each other, but not as
it's more responsibility.
Yeah. It's more like brother and sister.
Yeah.
And if we went to a safe space and then when we're there, I'm like, hey, we got to lay it all out. Nothing can be voiced in an accusational manner.
Yeah.
I can't go, it's all your fucking fault that, you know, nothing can be voiced in a judgmental manner. We have to be extremely open and receptive to each other.
Yeah.
And not close up. And we're not going to fucking leave this place until we talk everything out. I think that would have been pretty cool too.
Yeah. I don't know. I think at the point where we were though, I think it was really hard for me because I just had so much resentment that I didn't even know I had. So any little thing that you would say, even if you worded it in the slightest like wrong way.
Yeah.
I was already going to go off. Because I was like at my breaking point.
Even if we went to a safe space?
Yeah, because I'd be like, what the fuck? This is not what the fuck I need. I didn't even know what I needed. I didn't even know that like our sex life was all fucked up and that was like the main issue. Well, that wasn't the main issue, but that was like such a... like.
It was a manifestation of other fuck ups for sure.
Yeah, but it was so big.
Yeah,
it had its hand in everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think all of those are really good solutions. I think just going into the situation and just being like, all right, you can think about your fucking emotions later. Right now, it's an us thing. You know, if you want to be with this person and this person's worth your time and you see a future with this person and you love this person, fuck all that. Like, whatever you're feeling, like put that shit behind you. Like try to listen with your heart, as cheesy as that shit sounds.
Yeah.
Cause that like the resolution we had and how we did it really helped me just in our future bickers. Cause we don't fight like we used to anymore. And like now I'm just like, okay, let me try to listen for my heart. Like as much as I want to be right and as much as I have pride and ego and all that, like let me just shut the fuck up. Let me try to listen for my heart. And then when I listen for my heart, then I can really hear the CUNY and stuff and how soft and vulnerable you are, even though you're saying some dumb shit. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's what he means.
You know I'm dumb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very clearly. Yep.
So you got to be able to just decipher that bullshit because I grew up really fucked up.
Yeah. But I think the biggest thing ever and the easiest that you can start applying immediately, and it's going to help you across every single area in your life, is communicating. It's just saying, like, I know some people take it as like, fuck, that's confrontational as fuck. You know, like I don't want to ruffle any feathers. I don't want to be that person. Like, but man, like if you can just say what you're feeling and say it in your own way, you can be tactful, you can be raunchy with it, you can be crass, you can be respectful, however you need to say it, but just get it out. I think that's the biggest thing. Yeah,
sometimes it's hard because you live.
It's fucking hard.
People live in their own minds.
It's fucking hard. And it's hard.
They don't even know they're thinking certain things sometimes, you know?
Yeah. So if you can't find a way to communicate that, then get a dope circle of support. Like now I have all my girlfriends, right? And I'm like, dude, that's tight. Like I'm going through some shit. And then one of them jumps in our group chat and she's like, man, I'm going through this. I'm like, oh shit, me too. How do we deal? And then like we can talk about it. All right, yeah, we'll take it. And like you feel less alone. You feel like, oh damn, like this happens to everyone. Yeah. It's not just me.
Yeah.
Like, you know, me and my boyfriend or husband or whatever bickering about this dumb shit. Yeah, we just had the same fight.
Yeah.
You know, and then you feel like, oh damn, I'm not crazy.
I remember one of our first things of communication, like opening up our sexuality to each other, was we would start sending each other just pictures that turned us on. Mm-hmm. And then so I was like, that was the first communication. And I think once we got comfortable with that and I felt like I could send you stuff without being judged, then I remember we started sharing pornos that we liked. You would show me the pornos that you liked and I showed you the pornos I liked. And then that felt more comfortable. And then we started like doing things in the pornos that we liked. And then I was able to buy you lingerie and you wear it. It was pretty hot.
Yeah, I think these are all very basic, like easy steps for everyone to do. Yeah, that's a good point to bring up. They're baby steps, but they're steps so that you can make your partner feel like they're not being judged. Like, I always felt insecure about like
even during that time, I still felt like I was being judged a little bit just by the way you worded things. But I also had to tell myself that you're not judging me. Like for example, I remember I would show you a porno and then you'd be like, "Oh, you like that?" And I was like, "Oh, she's fucking judging me." But then I was like, okay, we did say we're not judging, so she's probably just curious.
Yeah, I'm inquisitive.
Or surprised or something.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
But the way it was asked, like to me, the tone sounded like, ooh. It was like that, yeah.
What was I gonna say? Oh, yeah, like I always felt like, and this was before that one boyfriend, I always felt so insecure about like ever catching, because even watching porn back in the day, maybe it's the age that I live in now. I don't know if someone younger experiences things differently now. Not that I'm that old, but I remember like if you caught your man watching porn, it was like, oh, hell broke loose. Like how the fuck? Like that's just as bad as cheating. I don't know if it's like that now, but like I was so insecure and like to ever think like, oh my God, I'm not giving my man what he wants, you know? And it's like, nah, bro, like that's not what it is. Like it's not like that.
Yeah.
But as a female, I just felt like, and I knew a lot of girls that felt this way, that you just feel like you're not enough for your dude.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, no, that's not what it is.
Yeah. Guys, I think they have a very good separation of sex object and who they love. So it's easy to like, oh, okay, when I'm jacking off, I just need to taste all the flavors. So skinny, big, tall, short, all different ethnicities.
But then a girl will be like, why am I not good enough? How come I can't?
It's not on a good scale. It's just on a different scale. You know, it's like one day you eat tacos and next day you eat a hamburger. It's not, you can't really compare the two. One day you like a pizza.
Yeah, because I could be like, I could eat tacos all day. I love your tacos. Why don't you love my tacos?
Because girls' sex drive is way different than guys.
I don't know. Some girls' sex drive is wild.
possible. I mean, it's there's no general statements, but from what I've seen, guys they don't need to be as emotionally connected in order to have sex. And guys, when they're watching pornos, they're probably just watching all the other flavors and just getting a taste of everything else.
Yeah. This is I feel like we can talk about this all day and then go into like every little thing in our life about it, because it's just so like multifaceted and multi-layered that like, yeah, these are things that nobody talks about. And I wish I had this so that I can feel normal and like, oh, it's okay. Like, it's not you. Like, it's, you know, like, this is part of life. This is normal. You just got to communicate and stuff. And like, I don't know, like, are we over it? Like, are we going to experience a different type of sexting now? Like,
probably. I think life always goes in waves.
Yeah.
It always does.
Yeah. Like, I just thought, like, as a kid, at least, I thought, like, okay, like, you find the one, you get married, and it's like just cruise, because now you know each other. It's like a best friend, right? Like,
yeah,
you don't ever really have crazy deep fights with your best friend. They're very small things, you know? Yeah,
but then you also see the married couple that are on opposite sides of the bench not talking to each other.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, I just thought that's
what happens when you cruise.
That's what marriage was. Like, you now have your best friend. You know everything about each other. That's it. Like, now you just have fun times. I didn't know that you work at it every fucking day
until you die.
Why the fuck would we do this to each other?
Oh, that's fun. Something to do.
God damn. I should have just been a hoe.
Yeah, maybe. But then you'll have a lonely, empty heart.
Fuck yeah, I probably would. I wouldn't have my little Taika Malika.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have my little cutie paw bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've come a long way, baby.
We did.
10 years, and we're still fucking going. We had a fight last night.
But it ends way different.
Yeah, for sure.
It gets settled real quick. The fight stays cuny. We don't really yell or anything. We don't really throw anything.
No, it's not a we, it's a you.
Hey.
And that's another thing we got to talk about.
What?
Just like our fights and stuff. Like, I don't know, just healthy and unhealthy fighting. Like, I think fighting is healthy.
Yeah.
But I think it's unhealthy when people are getting really hurt or when you're trying to intentionally hurt people. Yeah. Like, fighting to resolve something for peace and future resolution, I think is healthy.
Yeah.
But when it doesn't go anywhere and you call each other fucked up names,
that's really unhealthy.
And then you guys just stop talking about it, and then the next day act like nothing ever happened. Like, you sweep it under the rug. That's
pretty bad.
That's really bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we've reached that point in our podcast, baby.
Fun.
Yeah. So thank you for being nosy and wanting to hear about our relationship. I really do enjoy sharing this part of our relationship. And yeah, you're right. We try not to hold back on anything. More Bart than myself. But Bart always finds a way to weasel some stuff out of me, which is always really good because it creates really good content.
What did I weasel out of you? Nothing.
I don't know. You weasel a lot of stuff out of me all the time that I don't want to air out. And then I end up airing it out. And then after I do, then I read feedback from people and they're so appreciative.
Yeah.
And they're so grateful that I'm like, oh, damn, that's really nice. You know, like I never meant to, but I'm glad I helped you.
Yeah.
So we're not here to like try to tell you what to do, what not to do. We're just here to share our experience, and hopefully that connects with you guys in some way where a light bulb will turn on and you go, aha, here's my eureka moment, and it helps you somehow. And if it doesn't, well, I hope it made for some good laughs and some cheese to tell your friends. But yes, I want to end it with a great big thank you to Lola. Check them out. You'll see all the blah, blah, blah. What happened there? You'll see all of their information in the description box below. So check them out. They're super awesome. And thank you guys so much for supporting. See you guys next time.
See you.
Bye-bye.